Hey ladies, I'm Jennifer Garner, Senior Director, and I wanted to share with you basically what my home parties look like each time. So every time I go to a home party, they always look basically the same. Depending on my hostess's preferences and what I've learned through hostess coaching with her beforehand, I may change it up a little bit, but I always try to stick to the tried and true WOW method. The welcome, offering solution sets, and the wrap up. So again, at my parties, I always make sure I have my notes with me. And in the beginning, this was to keep me on track to make sure I said everything. And now that I get so excited and I want to tell them everything, it's to keep me on track to make sure I don't say too much. But don't be afraid to have your notes. We want to make this job look easy because it is easy and you never know who may be watching you as a potential team member in that party. So the first thing I do is I just welcome everybody to the party, and I want to get to know who they are and how they know our hostess. So I may just start it with something fun like this. Welcome to our party. Thank you guys so much for coming and spending a couple hours of your day with us. I know that Sarah is really excited as our hostess today, and she's really excited to have all of you here in one spot with her. So just by a show of hands, who has never been to a 31 party before? When they raise their hand, I kind of make a big deal about it. I always do tickets or something like that at my parties that I just hand out for participation, and then at the end just do a real quick drawing for something small like a nail file or a key fob or a little hand sanitizer from Target, whatever you've got on hand. So then from there, I want to just make sure that they know who we are as a company. So I tell them about Proverbs 31 being where our name comes from. That's, from the Bible. We talk about a virtuous woman, how she works hard for her family and her community and herself. And so because of all the wonderful things that she does, she should be celebrated and rewarded. And so that's what we want to do with our hostess. So then I have the hostess on the spot, and I say, our mission with 31 is to celebrate, encourage, and reward. So I want to do that right now for our hostess, because as women, we do so much for ourselves and our family and our friends, and we don't always tell each other how much we appreciate each other. So I want to do that right now for our hostess. So as we go around the room, if you'll introduce yourself, tell me your name, how you know the hostess, something about yourself, and then just give us something that you just love and adore about our hostess, just to give her a minute of celebration and encouragement. And then they go around the room, and as they're doing that, sometimes I even take notes because I want to get to know who they are and what they do. Because if I have a stay-at-home mom over here with 7 kids, maybe she needs a night out, and I'm going to talk to her about partying or the opportunity. If I have a retired grandma over here, I'm definitely going to want to show her our close-to-home items where she could put pictures of her grandkids, that sort of thing. So I kind of take note on who is there, what they're interested in then, and that way I know what to offer them later. So then after that, I explain to them the ticket thing. I might have already given tickets. Everyone gets a ticket for sharing at the beginning. And then I always do a booking game. And I do the envelope game. Some people call it the dice game, pass, play, upgrade. And so that's when I introduce that game, and then I come back to that at the end. That's something that you can look up in a different video, but I always intro that right there as well. And then I just tell them, well, today as we go, I'm going to give you 3 opportunities, 3 offers. I'm going to give you the offer to earn, to spend, and to save. And if I do my job well today, everybody will go home without paying full price for their wish list. And so then I'm going to tell them what those 3 things are. I'm going to tell them that they can earn, and so I'll flip to the back of the catalog and tell them, the back of the catalog is the best deal we can offer. 31 has been an amazing blessing in my life. And then I go into my why. So I tell them why I do 31, why I joined 8 years ago, and why I stay today, and just connect with them personally on that level. And if we have any incentives going on right then, you want to make sure you point those out and just share with them. And then at the end of that, just say, if you think that might be something you would be interested in doing, just watch what I do tonight and see if you can see yourself doing something like this. And we'll talk at the end of the party, and just kind of leave it as a cliffhanger there. Then I say the second opportunity I'm going to give you is the opportunity to save money. The best way to save money with 31 is as a hostess. And I talk about the hostess special for that month. I'll turn to the back or the inside cover of the of the seasonal guide and show them what the hostess exclusives are for that month, for that season. And then tell them we're going to come back to this in just a minute, tomorrow on hosting. And then the third thing they can do is to spend. So obviously you're always welcome to spend money with 31, but we don't want you to pay full price. And that's when I show them the special for the month. And, and that's where I say, if I do my job and you get the special, then you're going to save money and you haven't spent full price on everything. So I'll talk about those. And then that's also where I go into solution sets. So this is the other part of the O, offering solution sets. So I'm going to show you one and just give you an idea. But when you're offering solution sets, you want to pick products that you already have, pair them together that make sense for something they're really going to use them for in real life, and then show them by telling them a story on how this is going to make their life easier. So this is one of my favorite ones that I show. This is our Away for the Weekender. This baby is so popular. She's on the front of the catalog, right? So she's really popular. So this is the Away for the Weekender. And so I'm going to just tell them a story and say, hey guys, I went to Disney over Christmas with my family. Thank you, 31. Little plug there. And when we went, you know, if anyone has ever been to Disney and you've done the resort thing, they pick you up from the airport, they take you to your room, and then your luggage just magically arrives, right? Not always, because this past time, our luggage did not arrive. It wasn't lost, it just was held up between the airport and Disney and our room, and so we didn't get our luggage until the next morning, late in the morning. And that is like everyone's worst nightmare, right, is losing their luggage. Well, this has been my carry-on on the plane several times, and it is fantastic. So I have several kids, so when we're running through the airport, I can do a crossbody with this, and I can chase all my kids in different directions and still make sure that my stuff is safe. So this bag is fantastic. It is carry-on friendly. I actually use this as my personal item and had another rolling tote as my carry-on. So this is fantastic for the plane. It fits underneath, and it's got everything we need. So even though Disney lost our stuff or delayed our stuff, my husband is paranoid enough that we prepared for that and made sure we had everything in our carry-ons just in case that happened. So we didn't lose any time at Magic Kingdom the next morning. But what I always make sure I have packed with me, first thing, I never go anywhere without this All About the Benjamins wallet. Then I tell them all of the wonderful features about the Benjamin and how I never go anywhere without him. But tell them all about the Benjamin wallet and how this is perfect for the airport, making sure your tickets are safe, your passports if you're going international, they fit in here as well, all those wonderful things. And then I'll say, well, you know, also because we want to be safe and make sure we don't miss out on anything important like our medications or any of the toiletries we need. Everything my family and I needed for just at least one night was packed in here. So all of our toiletries, our medications, toothbrushes, everything in our hanging traveler case. Perfect. And we all know that those pretzels on the plane are never enough, and so you definitely always need to have a cute matching thermal to always have with you. And because like I said, my husband is paranoid enough, we had everything we needed, and even though we didn't have our pajamas and the perfect outfit for the next day because our luggage didn't come right away, we had everything we needed and essentials packed away in this carry-on, and so our Disney vacation was still a dream. So that's just a quick story that I always tell. That is a true story. So you can tell someone else's story. You can tell my story when you show this off. But we want to tell a story with your solution sets to really get them invested in, you're right, I do need all of that. And so you can pick 2 or 3 bundles to show off during this offer part, and you always want to have a customer special tucked in there as well to really show off how they can save when they put this all together. So then after that, I say, okay, so I showed you those 3 things. Remember how I said I'd come right back to the Hostess thing? Well, let me show you what our hostesses really get. And that's when I'm going to go into Hostess stacking. If you're not sure what Hostess stacking is, reach out to your director, or you can check on TOT. There are resources for Hostess stacking, but you're pretty much just going to come up with a list of items you already own because you want to have stuff physically on hand that add up to the $600 party level for rewards, and they add up to the $1,200 party level rewards. Ask for a volunteer and then just stack her. You're literally going to hand her everything one at a time. So by the end of her $1,200 party, when she's got $250 free, 3 half price, and 3 Hostess exclusives for free, plus that Hostess special for whatever month it is, she is holding a ton. But you want to show what it looks like so that they all are like, wow, I could get all that for how much? And it ends up being like $93 is my most recent stacking that I have. So they can see, wow, everything she just got at her $1,200 party is only $93. Then I throw another plug in there for joining and say, well, that enrollment kit's only $99. Everything she just got's $93. That's less than $200. Plus, as a consultant, she would have made $300. So she's getting everything in that kit, everything from this party, and still making $100. And that really turns heads and raises eyebrows and can start a lot of conversations. And then after that's finished, then like I said, I have that booking game that I always go into. I always get at least 3 parties booked depending on how many people are at the party, if not more, from this game. So make sure you look up the envelope game, also called the dice game, also called Pass Play Upgrade, to see the details on that. It's my favorite booking game, but you could really do any booking game or no booking game if you're confident enough with your full service checkout and asking every guest to check out. And then after that, I just tell them it's time to shop. And then as they are shopping, I never want to leave the room. I want to hear their conversations. If this lady says, I really wish I could get that around town tote, but I can't afford it, she's definitely somebody I'm going to want to talk to about hosting a party, because she could get that for half price or free depending on her party level. Or if somebody says, I really wish that I could get that retro Metro bag and a Benjamin wallet. Well, do you know that the 2 of those, just a retro Metro bag and a Benjamin wallet, cost the same as the enrollment kit? So maybe you got to talk to her about how much of a deal that $99 enrollment kit is, plus she's going to start making money right away and never have to wish that she could afford stuff again, because she'll be getting it for free and with her wishes rewards and her own party rewards and stuff like that as a consultant. So those are conversations you want to be listening for and having with them. And then when it's time to check out, you'll have their order form. And when you go over their order form, the first thing I do is I offer them those 3 things again in that same order. So before I even total their order, I say, okay, so what did you think? Is this something that you feel like you could do? Whether it's home parties like this, or just setting up fundraisers, or being a virtual consultant and only having online parties. Is some extra cash, girl time, or free product something that would speak to you? And just have that open conversation about recruiting. If she says yes, great, total up her order and then sign her up. If she says no, I always say, is that a no forever or just a no for right now? And then I make a note of that so I can follow up with her later. If she said no, then I say, well, what do you think about having a party? Did you see how much that Kendra was holding when I was hostess stacking with her? How would you like to have a fun girls' night and earn a bunch of stuff for free? And then if she says yes, book her party. If she says no again, then ask her if a different time of the year would be better. Maybe the summer's too busy and fall she could fit it in, and then make a note on her order form for that. And then the last thing you do is actually look at her order form. Total it up. If she has a large utility tote on there and nothing else, then you might want to say, well, how do you want to personalize that? Because you always want to make that cute bag your cute bag, and get her personalization on that. And then you can say, well, with that large utility tote, you know you qualify for the monthly special. Did you make sure that you looked at those? Have the flyer sitting there with you, have the special items right beside you, and say, it's this bag and this bag. Which one would you like for 50% off because of your qualifying purchase? And have those conversations. I don't ever just take the order form, total it, and give it back. I want to talk to her and talk through it. And if she has something crossed off, say, oh, why'd you decide not to get the Ruby Mini this time? If it's because she couldn't afford it, book a party. If it's because she couldn't decide on a print or didn't like any of the current prints, write that down so when the next catalog comes out, you can call her and say, guess what? We have new colors in that Ruby Mini. Do you want to see what they are? Well, yeah, she's going to want to see them, and she'll probably buy one. And again, if she can't afford things, then joining or having a party can be the solution to that. Even if she's already said no, you might be giving her different reasons to say yes as your conversation goes. And then after that, I just follow up with my hostess and continue my hostess coaching with her to make sure she follows up with anybody who wasn't there, to get more outside orders, or anyone who's going to order online and that sort of thing. But that's all part of hostess coaching, which is a whole different topic as well. But that's basically what my home parties look like. I really hope that helped.